minutes per person. Does anybody have anything they would like to say tonight? Well, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. All items under this section are recommended for approval for the consent agenda. These items are of a routine nature and require only brief deliberation by council. Council reserves the right to remove any item on the consent agenda for further deliberation. These include A, approved minutes for March 22, 2022 regular council meeting, approved bills payable for period ending April 12th, 2022, and approved minutes from April 7th, 2022 town hall meeting. And discussion or action taken on items withdrawn from the consent agenda. Separate, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A and B. I'd like to remove C for one, I don't know if you call it a correction or whatever.
Okay, all in favor of A and B?
Aye.
I guess we need a second.
Only correction on C, concern, there was a statement made about who's approved of the citizens that live around there, their approval. I don't believe what was stated at that meeting was correct. Other than that, I approve C.
And did we get a second on that motion before we voted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Two of them, I think.
Yeah.
So do you want it, agenda revised?
Well, I just don't think what he said is correct. Do you,
I think it does need to be revised if it's
Well, is that in here? I mean, I
don't know if it's in the meeting, but it said at the meeting.
Was it said at the meeting?
Yes, it
Yes,
said
and it was in.
three out of 4 agreed, and that's not correct.
Okay.
So, if it's in the meetings,
Yeah,
It was at the meeting, but it's not in the minutes.
it's
Not
not.
in minutes, though.
Right, so I don't know what.
Okay.
Okay. We'll approve C too, then.
Make a motion to approve C. Have a motion, do we have a second?
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Personal appearances and/or items requiring council approval action. Number 8, consider approval of request from Castleberry High School 2022 senior class to hold a parade as a city-sponsored event. There he is. I was just fixing to say he wasn't here. Mr. Steve Sanders, come on down.
We are coming to the city to ask the city to sponsor the senior class parade. We'd like to make this an annual event. We've done it the last 3 years. Like to continue doing it every year for the seniors. The seniors really enjoy it. Last year we had about 120 vehicles in the parade. So it is a big turnout, and they have a lot of fun at it. The reason why we don't come here and do it ourselves is because we are not a non-profit organization. We are working on getting a 501(c), which would allow us to be a non-profit. It takes money, and we're still working on that. So
The school does the homecoming parade.
school does the homecoming parade. That's their annual parade. Is the homecoming parade.
This is the senior class.
This is the Senior Parent Association that put this on for the senior class.
But the school not want that.
The school said that they would provide the facilities for us to have it, to start and finish at, and they would also provide a manpower or staffing as needed. They don't run, the Parent Association is not ran through the school. It is the parents of the seniors, and they
They do the t-shirts, they do the...
we raise money for their end of the year party, and also for the prom, and for the senior breakfast that is on the last day of school, or last week of school.
I did contact TML, and being it's a special event of the city, then our insurance will cover it. That's the other thing the school didn't want to do, because their attorney said their insurance couldn't be used for that. But ours can, and they told me we are covered.
Yes.
Well, I've said many times after, being in parades in this city, being in the classic car world for years and years before ever moving here, that played a big part of us moving here. So I'm in favor of parades in general, but I would want to ask the police's opinion, the chief's opinion, since we are low on staff right now and all that. Were you back there sleeping?
Looked like it.
There's a lot of police chief.
Nice answer.
So do you have any problems with, the idea of having a parade for the senior class?
I do not.
We did it last year, didn't we?
Yes. We've done it the last 3 years.
Last year.
One of the things that you have to be aware of, that they didn't have to go onto the boulevard so that there's not a state permit we have to obtain. The only other thing is just manpower, that providing, Castleberry ISD is willing to provide officers. We should have officers regarded. It just depends what the state of the union is at that time.
Well, I would think if, that'd be something that citizens could help at certain intersections, couldn't they? Volunteers like myself.
Theoretically, the production of putting on a parade itself, just, the liability is where I'm always coming from. I'm always looking at the liability aspect of it. Kids and roadways and parades have a tendency to make me nervous. We've done them and we've always done them well, and I don't see this being any different than any other parade we've ever had.
So when we did them, school and homecoming, it took 20-something officers, and we didn't cover every intersection. We were covering the major ones. That's my only concern is...
And that would be on the boulevard as well.
Yeah.
So the route is all on residential streets. It's not going anywhere on the boulevard, mainly because the permitting with the TxDOT is always a challenge. That, and we're staying off Churchill as well, because Churchill needs help.
Lots of help.
You don't want to showcase Churchill, I think. That one picture on the annual.
That one block that we're gonna be on Churchill, that's enough.
Yeah.
I'll suggest you might talk to Gordon too when you plan your route to make sure what next construction might be coming around the corner, because it changes all the time.
That's why we're starting early this year, because last year we did it the week before the parade, and figured we'd do a little bit more time. And if we can make it an annual event, then we would just come in to the council and inform the council that it will be on this date. That way it would not be...
What date is that?
We're shooting for May 20th. May 19th is the senior awards for the athletic class, the spring dinner, whatever they call it. They changed it up. It's not an awards banquet. It's where they come to the football field and they have games and different things, and then they feed them. So it's a little bit different than years past.
I'll make a motion to approve a request from Castleberry High School 2022 senior class to hold a parade as a city-sponsored event.
Second.
We were talking about 1 year.
1 year, yeah, this year, yeah.
Okay.
2020, yeah.
And you're asking to make it continuous, right?
I would like to make it an annual event. Yes, I would.
We have to wait till you get this 501c though,
No.
Martin?
No.
Well, I make a
So is that...
I'll revise my motion to be permanent.
On an annual basis?
Annual basis.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would add, I don't have a problem with making it permanent, but I would think that it needs to be run through the police department or city staff within 30 days before that, so they have, if they change the route or do anything, we need to make sure we have the necessary manpower.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, and I've submitted the application through the city staff and through the PD as well. I've also submitted it through the school, so everybody's aware of the route.
Well, that becomes
it's worth commenting on the fact that we feel safe with you doing it, but don't know who's down the road too, so.
Well, I'm here for another 4 years.